Hello, my name is Kara Thompson, and this is EcoMap video number 2, applying intervention into a case study. I chose to do an intervention plan on John because I feel like even though he's young, there's still, a lot of interventions out there, and the fact that he's young is probably better because um, we can fix the issues that we have now and it won't, negatively affect him in the future. One of the interventions, I think may benefit John is music-based therapy. This type of therapy can help to improve his communication skills and to express himself in a nonverbal manner. This can also help him, be an outlet for, anger or when he's sad, about all the things, he's gone through and his mom has gone through, in the time he's been born. This can also, can be done at school or can be done at home, as it only takes, roughly 10-15 minutes a day. Music therapy can help him, non-verbally communicate with sounds and rhythms and tones, and that can in turn help him, verbally communicate if you add, pictures or, objects into the, scenario. If done correctly and consistency, music therapy can ultimately help to improve his spoken words because it allows the child to be, engaged in an enjoyable, activity, but also focuses on his strengths and not his weaknesses. Another intervention that could help him would be timed unstructured play. When John is in school, he's stuck in a room all day, which could hinder his progress. And his mother, even though his mother doesn't get to spend a lot of time with him, she can allot a certain amount of time every day to play with him, and this can not only help them to get closer, but it can help John to further progress because he has the support of his mother and he's doing something that he enjoys. Studies show that when an autistic child plays, that provides the person that's observing them information about what their interests are and their concerns, what they value, and how they see the world. Play can also assess how well his therapy that he's getting in school is actually doing. As I know his mother feels like what he's getting done at school isn't really helping. This unstructured play can also help John improve his communication skills as it is, yet another source, to nonverbal communication. In the peer-reviewed article that I read, it was saying that some autistic kids feel that sensory play and pretend play, had a great effect on them. Because sensory play allow the child to come up with their own perception of things rather than having an inanimate object that already had an intent and purpose and perception of it. And they said pretend play also helped because it helped them to make sense of themselves, make sense of the world. Like there's a child who lived on a farm, and so she had like a little person that was her, and she had farm animals, and her grandmother pretended like they were milking the cows and they were walking the horses around. So it helps them to express how they see the world. Although unstructured play is a good thing, I do say it should be timed unstructured because if you overstimulate an autistic child, then that can have harmful effects. You know, Even though playing sounds like a small thing, I feel like this can help because John's mother is so nervous to let him go and play with other kids. But she saw what makes him happy and what upsets him, then she'll know what kind of environments to put him in and how to help him when he's in that situation instead of being afraid that something bad's going to happen. Having a plan for if it were to happen, this is what we do. Going ahead. And if all else fails, then when she gets a better job, gets a better apartment, John can get a pet. Another intervention that I feel will truly help John is to have an advocate. Because they live in such a small town, they would have to reach out to other cities and counties for help. But I know having a advocate or a social worker would greatly benefit John's life. John's mother is doing the best that she can, but she's overwhelmed, and Sue is doing the best that she can, but ultimately Sue has a whole nother life of, financial issues and, life issues that she also deal with. I think John needs some type of advocate outside of the family, that can provide a supportive environment, a sense of safety, could be a voice for him and somebody whose main focus is on, John's progression and can make necessary changes when things aren't happening. Sue and his mother have, John in mind, but, John's mother is worrying about work and transportation and what her husband's going to do. And, Sue has her own life, so they think about John, but that's not their main priority at the moment. An advocate or a social worker can help John, get some counseling to look into how the adult's, stress could be stunting his progress. It can provide strategies for Sue and Mom to help John and, come up with a family plan. Also with prolonged intervention or having this person, go through John without his life. It can help John understand his family dynamics, and it can also, have a person that's helping John and not just trying to fix his situation. In the grand scheme of things, the thing that would help John the most is, his mother getting a better life. His mother needs to look into some type of TANF or, some financial assistance, getting into some Better Wives programs, maybe applying for financial aid for school, looking into programs for children with mothers with children with disabilities, or batter's wife to help them relocate, or find a better job. Maybe enlist the community to help as much as they can. But ultimately, I think a state level help needs to be in place at this point, and then maybe going forward, the community, maybe gets to better community, can help. But ultimately, she's in a small town, she doesn't have the resources, and she needs the help. And that's my intervention plan for John.